January 4th, 1962. Snow blankets, Derry, Maine. A picture-perfect town with a smile that hides something ancient beneath its streets. Inside the Capitol Theater, kids laugh at the Music Man until the reel flickers and the real show begins, one written not by man, but by a monster. The opening of Fear. The pilot episode of Welcome to Derry begins with a disarming sense of nostalgia. The bright brass of the Music Man's Trouble number plays across the screen, a musical about a con man who manipulates a small town through charm and illusion. The metaphor is deliberate. The cheerful facade mirrors Derry itself, a place that projects wholesome Americana while rot festers underneath. Among the audience is Maddie Clement, a quiet, abused boy clutching a yellow pacifier, a color that immediately recalls Georgie's raincoat from IT 2017. Like Georgie, Maddie is curious, lonely, and doomed to become the opening sacrifice that reawakens the darkness. When the theater lights dim, he slips away into the snow, desperate to escape his home life. His tricycle is gone. His innocence soon will be too. The monster in the car. Maddie hitchhikes with what appears to be a perfect family. A smiling mother, a polite father, a baby cooing softly in the back seat. The scene drips with 1950s normalcy until the family's conversation begins to twist. Words repeating, laughter stretching into manic echoes. The baby mutates, its flesh folding outward, its eyes vanishing. What bursts from the carriage is no child. It is a malformed creature, a crimson king-like demon baby feeding on fear itself. The creature attacks Maddie, fusing body and mind in a grotesque rebirth. His yellow pacifier falls to the car floor, rolling into a storm drain, as the camera pans down a perfect echo of Georgie's paper boat. The title appears, Welcome to Derry. The cycle has begun again. The Crimson King connection. Stephen King's mythos has always hinted that Pennywise is only one face of a greater evil. The demonic infant Maddie encounters may represent the Crimson King, the cosmic overlord from the Dark Tower who commands creatures like it. By merging Maddie with this entity, the show suggests that Pennywise is not born once, but reborn through hosts, a living contagion that remanifests every generation. When Maddie later appears in the Music Man film, grinning on-screen with the baby in his arms, it symbolizes that possession. Pennywise doesn't just return. It infects stories themselves, using imagination and nostalgia as feeding grounds. The Music Man, a town in denial. The movie theater motif runs deeper than aesthetics. In The Music Man, an outsider manipulates a town with charm, convincing citizens to believe in illusions. Derry operates on the same principle. Everyone knows something is wrong, yet no one confronts it. The laughter in the theater masks a collective blindness, the very ignorance that allows it to thrive. When Maddie appears on screen during the kid's second visit, he throws the demonic baby out of the projection, literally breaching the wall between fiction and reality. It's a chilling metaphor. Evil in Derry cannot be contained to stories. It always finds a way to manifest. The Hanlon legacy and the Air Force Base. Parallel to Maddie's disappearance runs a story rooted in Cold War paranoia. Major Leroy Hanlon, grandfather of Mike Hanlon from the IT films, arrives to test the new B-52 bomber at Derry's northernmost Air Force Base, the one closest to the Soviet Union. The year 1962 places the story in the shadow of the Cuban Missile Crisis, when fear of annihilation hung over every household. Hanlon's arrival anchors the episode's theme, fear as a weapon. Derry's terror feeds Pennywise. The world's fear of nuclear war feeds governments. Both thrive on paranoia. Within the base lies a restricted area labeled Special Projects, rumored to house remnants of a meteor, perhaps the very one that brought it to Earth. The Masked Men and the Black Spot. One night, Hanlon is ambushed by three masked figures wearing gas masks. The assault feels both human and supernatural, a hate crime mixed with hallucination. Historically, Derry's black airmen built a nightclub called the Black Spot, which was later burned down by the Legion of White Decency, a stand-in for the Ku Klux Klan. Hanlon's beating mirrors that atrocity, showing that Derry's evil doesn't always wear a clown's face. Sometimes it hides behind ideology. Among the attackers, one behaves strangely, smaller, hesitant, almost childlike. When the others retreat, they guide him away as if protecting him. The framing suggests this third man may not be human at all, possibly a manifestation of Pennywise witnessing its own rebirth through human cruelty. The turtle and the cosmic balance. Throughout the episode, subtle turtle imagery surfaces as a school mascot, a bracelet charm, and a desk trinket. Fans of Stephen King recognize this as Maturin, the cosmic turtle who created the universe and opposes it. In King's mythology, faith and imagination are weapons of light against the Crimson King's chaos. The symbols imply that, even amid horror, Derry still holds faint but present remnants of protection. The Children of Derry. The story shifts to Lily Bainbridge, a young girl burdened by guilt. Her father died at the local jarring plant, crushed by machinery while retrieving her lost mood ring. The trauma defines her fear born from guilt, exactly the emotion Pennywise feeds on. Lily's friends, Annie, Phil, Teddy, and Susie, mirror the original Losers Club. Each carries a private wound. Teddy's Jewish family survived the Holocaust. Phil hides insecurities behind humor. Ronnie dreams of escape. Susie clings to logic to explain the unexplainable. Their bond forms not from bravery, but from shared pain, the kind of emotional fracture that it exploits. The investigation begins. After Maddie's disappearance, Lily and her friends uncover strange events around the Capitol Theater. Flickering projectors, whispers through bathroom pipes, and posters that seem to change overnight. The bathroom pipe motif recalls Beverly Marsh's infamous scene in IT, 2017, where blood erupted from the sink. The pipes symbolize Derry's circulatory system channels through which Pennywise's presence flows, connecting every home, every secret. As Lily kneels by a drain, she hears Maddie's voice calling for help. It's a cruel echo, or a mimicry designed to draw her closer. Pennywise doesn't merely appear, it engineers emotional traps, feeding not just on fear, but on guilt. Comics, cinema, and multiverse echoes. The show's 1960s setting allows a tapestry of meta-references. Teddy's father throws away The Flash, number 123, the comic that introduced DC's multiverse. It's more than an Easter egg. It foreshadows Stephen King's interconnected universe with The Shining, The Mist, Dreamcatcher, and November 22, 1963, all part of the same reality where it resides. The destruction of that comic is also an inside joke from director Andy Muschietti, who helmed The Flash, 2023. The gesture feels symbolic, closing one universe to open another, trading superheroes for nightmares. Nearby, other comics appear, such as Detective Comics number 298, featuring the Clayface origin, a villain who can morph his body into any shape. The parallel to Pennywise is obvious. These visual nods reinforce that Derry itself is a multiverse hub, a convergence point for King's entire mythology. Racial horror and the Red Scare. Leroy Hanlon's subplot deepens the series beyond cosmic horror. His struggles as a black officer stationed in a white New England town mirror the fear Pennywise feeds upon the hatred institutionalized. The masked attack isn't random violence. It's the human reflection of it. Derry's racism, paranoia, and moral decay are extensions of the same cosmic sickness. References to nuclear tests and children with radiation defects play across radio broadcasts, linking the Cuban Missile Crisis to the town's rising madness. Humanity fears annihilation. Pennywise feasts on that fear. The Capitol Theater Massacre. The climax takes us back to where it all began, the Capitol Theater. The kids return to investigate, replaying the Music Man reel, hoping to confront whatever took Maddie. The projector flickers, and there he is, Maddie Clement, standing on screen, holding the demonic baby. The film burns red as he smirks and throws the creature out of the frame, literally breaking the barrier between fiction and reality. The baby grows enormous, sprouting malformed wings, its mouth a whirlpool of teeth. It descends upon the children. Phil is ripped apart mid-air. Teddy's arm snaps. Susie's hand is severed in a shot mirroring Georgie's death. Blood floods the aisles, coating the screen in crimson light. The massacre ends with Lily and Ronnie crawling through debris, their screams swallowed by the projector's whir. only 2 survivors. Only 2 to remember what really happened. Themes of guilt and rebirth. In Stephen King's universe, fear is cyclical. Evil sleeps, awakens, feeds, then sleeps again. Welcome to Derry positions this 1962 massacre as the event preceding Pennywise's full awakening in 1958 and 1989, filling the missing chapter in Derry's 27-year rhythm. The children's deaths serve as a grim ritual. Each act of horror renews the entity's hold over the town. The adults forget. The town repairs itself. The drain pipes keep whispering. For Lily, survivor's guilt becomes her curse. Her hallucinations of Maddie reaching through the pipes echo Bill Denbrough's visions of Georgie. Derry ensures that trauma never heals. It recycles pain until it becomes legend. Intersecting kingdoms. Sharp-eyed viewers spotted Dick Halloran, the telepathic cook from The Shining, working as a kitchen assistant at the Black Spot. This confirms that the Shine psychic sensitivity exists within Derry's boundaries. If Halloran survives the nightclub fire, as he does in the novel, he could later mentor Mike Hanlon's family, passing down knowledge of the entity. Mentions of Project Arrowhead, He Experiment from the Mist, appear in background files at the Air Force Base. This suggests the U.S. government is studying dimensional phenomena, possibly remnants of the meteor that carried it. Welcome to Derry, which becomes more than a prequel. It's the spine of the King multiverse, bridging stories that once felt separate. The future of fear. Episode 1 ends with a chilling image, the theater screen flickering back to life as Maddie's face appears one last time, whispering, "We all float." His pacifier drops again into darkness, replaced by the faint laughter of a clown. Upcoming episodes explore how Pennywise evolves through generations, perhaps revealing his first human alias, Bob Gray. The trailer teases early 1900s carnival scenes, hinting at an origin story that merges folklore, cosmic horror, and tragedy. The meteor crash, Native American myths, and the rise of Derry's industry will likely intertwine to explain how evil became embedded in the town's infrastructure, literally built into its foundations. Symbols and Easter eggs. The Paul Bunyan statue under construction mirrors the one that later attacks Richie Tozier in It. Chapter 2. It symbolizes American myth turned monstrous, the dream of expansion devouring itself. The Juniper Hill Asylum reference grounds the series within King's recurring geography, connecting to Gerald's game, Insomnia, and the Tommyknockers. Even small details, like the "kids are always losers" graffiti, serve a dual meaning, foreshadowing both the fate of Lily's group and the formation of the Future Losers Club decades later. The true monster. What Welcome to Derry captures brilliantly is that Pennywise is not the only evil haunting the town. Human cruelty, prejudice, and denial are its constant accomplices. Every time Derry looks away from injustice, it invites the clown back in. The supernatural horror feeds on the everyday one. By framing the story during America's most anxious decade, when nuclear dread and social unrest ruled the headlines, the series shows that it never needed to create fear. Humanity was already doing that job perfectly. Welcome to Derry isn't just a prequel, it's proof that evil never dies. It only hides. The episode ties It, The Shining, and The Dark Tower into one shared nightmare, where Derry remains the dark heart of King's universe, because here nothing ends, it always comes back.